Hello, my name is Curtis, and today we are talking about the implications of buying a property as is. So if that's what you're looking for, you are in the right place. And today we're talking about buying a property as is. And so what does it mean to buy a property as is? That just simply means that either the seller or you as the investor or the buyer are not requiring any repairs to be done for that transaction to happen. Why would you do that? What are the advantages of doing that? Because it does inherently invite some risk. So it's just simply a negotiation tool. I've done that many times. I don't know that I've ever placed an offer as a real estate investor without using buying a property as is as a negotiation tactic. I mean, it's pretty common amongst the other investors. So if you're not doing that as an investor, then you're kind of leaving money on the table or losing out on deals, because a lot of guys out there are offering to buy the property as is. And so the biggest advantage is being competitive. It's not going to give you a huge competitive advantage because, like I said, a lot of guys out there are buying properties as is already. It's kind of baked into their process. So what are some of the things you should look out for? Are there any other advantages? What should you look out for when you buy a property as is? The biggest thing is there's the risk of the unknown. Like, you don't know going into it, is this property in great shape, terrible shape, or mediocre shape? But if you're scrolling through the MLS and somebody is selling the property as is, usually it's a big indication there is something wrong that needs to be fixed, and they are aware of it, and they might or may not disclose that to you, but it's kind of at least an indication that you're probably going to put some work to this property. So if you see that on MLS, yeah, you should just assume I'm going to have to put some work into this deal to make it happen. But if you are buying a property as is, you do that when the property's in poor condition anyway. It needs some work, obviously needs some work. So it's not a huge deal to buy a property as is as a real estate investor. You kind of just get used to that process. And as you get more experience, you'll be able to walk the property yourself, and you do enough flips and things like that, you'll be able to walk the property and you just know, like, this needs to be fixed, this needs to be repaired. But if you're not at that level just yet, there's no worries, because there is a couple of simple solutions to help alleviate the risk in those type of transactions. One simple solution is, now I've almost never had this not work. I can't think of a situation where it didn't work, but by using a home inspector. If you are operating in a population of like 10,000 or more people in that general area, usually there's a home inspector somewhere within an hour or two radius that'll come in, look at that house and take a look at it and make sure it's in good condition. And we'll take a look at an example of home inspection in a minute. But the other solution is to get out there and get a formal relationship with the general contractor and have them walk the property and give their opinion on what needs to be fixed and what doesn't need to be fixed. I personally like to have the home inspection done regardless, because when you work with a general contractor, they are looking to fix things. If they're in the business of fixing things, so you want to be aware of what actually needs to be fixed and what is kind of not necessary. And the best way to do that is to have a third-party home inspector do that and take care of that and look at that for you. Because the general contractor has a vested interest in making money on fixing stuff, so he's going to not say lie about things, but he might suggest things that aren't 100% necessary. But I'll leave it at that. But in any case, we're going to take a look at the home inspection I actually had done in Chicago. This is a deal I had under contract, but I actually did not go all the way through with it. I had everything lined up, property management, all that kind of stuff in place. But once I got the home inspection back and the GC looked at it, it just was too much as far as like the renovation costs to actually go through this particular deal. But we can use it as a case study. Let me just pull it up here. I'm going to have to hide the address. But it was a brick bungalow up in, like I said, in Chicago. Now, according to the seller, it was in fantastic shape, but they always say that. For the most part, they usually say that. Usually they won't say this house is terrible, unless it's a painfully obvious it's terrible. But this is actually a house that seemed to be in great shape. But actually ended up being a lot more work than I would have realized, because I buy properties remotely. So so I'm not necessarily on boots on the ground in those areas all the time. But yeah, in this particular property, yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, the home inspections are extremely thorough. They look at everything from the roof to the HVAC to the plumbing to the electrical. They look at everything. They check out light sockets. Is a faucet leaking? Like, it's that detailed, that granular. So when you get a home inspection, it usually costs around $300 to $350. Usually, sometimes maybe a little bit higher, depending on the market you're working in. But usually you get around $300 to $350 usually. But anyway, this guy, he pointed out the fact that there's a mold that has fungus. It's like fungus and mold growing on the actual trim, and it's kind of dilapidated as far as the trim is concerned. It was decaying, as he said. Right here, they give you another great thing is they give you photos of everything. Basically, if they find anything that's an issue, you usually take a photo of it and make a note of it, so you are well aware of what is going on with the property. Now, this one had an exterior garage, and the garage actually needed some roof work, and it was kind of deteriorating because I think this home was built around early 1900s, 1910 or so. So that garage was in major need of repair. It would have been cost prohibitive to fix the garage. I considered like turning it into storage, potentially just seal it off, turn it into storage. But fixing it would have been just a little bit too much. As you can see, like, they needed roof repair and that kind of stuff here. All things the seller didn't mention to me, surprisingly. Let's see here. Now, this is interesting. It had a sagging roof that the seller definitely didn't mention that at all. According to her, when I had the conversation with her, the house is in pretty great shape, and it looked good. I had photos taken on the property, even a 360 walkthrough. But after you get a home inspection, it's another story. It's so much more granular, and it can save you, a lot of money. So it's well worth the $300 to $350 that you got to pay for it. But yeah, like I said, this is a sagging roof. I think that roof would have cost like $15,000 to repair that. The tile, I think the roof shingles were also towards the end of life, so it's going to need to be replaced in the next 5 years or less. If memory serves, I haven't looked at this deal in a while, but I'm pretty sure that's roughly where that was. Even how close the tree is to the roof, like this is that granular. I mean, they do a great job. I've never had a bad inspection in my career, at least. Let's see, anything else interesting? Yep, some foundational issues. You can see kind of like this staircase crack there. It could be indication of like an issue with the foundation. And we were budgeting for rehabbing the basement itself and shoring up the foundation. I think that was going to cost like $20,000. But yeah, it was going to be a full major renovation of the entire basement. But yeah, there's some water damage here, I believe. But yeah, like I said, you can absolutely alleviate the risk of the unknown when it comes to buying a property simply by getting a home inspection and improving your skill set. Learning those things, those obvious things to look out for. Once you're doing your fix and flips and that kind of stuff, you'll learn along the way what needs to be done and what can't be done, or the price points and all that kind of stuff. But as early on in your career, you can definitely rely on and use a home inspection to kind of, remove any doubt. All right, so just to wrap up, that is understanding the implication of buying a property as is. Thank you so much for joining me. Got a couple goodies for you. If you click on the link below, you can actually receive a 5 estates keeping you from your first real estate deal PDF, and it's a bonus here. You can get a copy of my actual comping software. So I call it Computron. My disposition manager hated that name. I love it. It's Computron. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you have a great night. Bye-bye.